I coach girls water polo, young little girls into pretty good water polo players, or at least that's what we think. So a lot of it's going to come from like grassroots, like how we get them into the program, some of the tactics we use to keep them in the program. Because I know club coaches struggle keeping girls on water polo, and we, for some reason, do a good job of having our bottom really heavily loaded at our 10 and unders and our 14 unders and our 12 and unders. And I know for us, the way I recruit is I'll go to schools nearby and go to they have assemblies, and I'll speak in their assemblies and show videos of water polo, because a lot of kids don't know what water polo is. As a young kid, I didn't know what water polo was. I was introduced on accident, and so I bring up videos that USA Water puts up, and I'll use them to recruit young girls. And then the other thing is, we always have once a month or every now and then we'll have a bring a friend day, or bring a friend into the team. And we don't do these stuff so much because we have a lot of numbers now at the younger age groups. But those are some of the stuff that we did, and our clubs expanded. And local publicity is always really, really good. For us, we have to use a local because we have limitations on where we can draw our athletes from. Our athletes are only for the city of Commerce. We cannot draw from neighboring cities. And so we use a lot of local media, from TV to newspapers, to local newspapers, and put our stuff and what schools our girls are going to, and that kind of stuff. So if there's any questions, if somebody's got something to say, by all means, please feel free to say it. So at our 10 and unders, we try to put stuff in priority, and other people, according to what we have and what type of athletes we have, this is what we really, really focus on, and developing the young athlete. So as far as swimming, just basically know how to survive. They swim 2 laps of every stroke, you're on the team, right? And then treading water, we don't worry about that so much because we have a shallow, deep pool. As long as they can stand up, they're able to move up in the shallow, deep. And then we also train. We'll also take them in diving wells, which are small, so they don't have to swim so much. And we do that too. Head up, changing directions, getting up over your hips, swimming head up with the ball. Try to keep it simple for us, and then just make it super fun. Because water polo, what I found out for young athletes, they're either going to go play volleyball or soccer or something that's fun. So if you're not keeping it fun at that age group, you're going to lose them. And the other big one is they got to build relationships with the girls on the team, because their friends will keep them there. So if you don't have building relationships with the girls in your team, they're going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else. So that's what we try to do, is make it a lot of fun. Some of our dry land is soccer or baseball or dodgeball or kickball or whatever. Something where they're going to have some kind of dry land experience, so they're going to bond and make friends. Because if they're not making friends, they're going to take off. They're going to go somewhere else. Okay? That's big for us. And as they get older, a lot of they'll stay because they're friends, and because their friends are doing it. So that's, for us, that's really huge. Trying to make bonds with friends. That way they stay in the water polo. Because water polo at a young age, it's really, really hard to pick up and really hard to learn. So we try to make it simple. Shallow pools, dive tanks, where they don't have to swim a lot, we don't have to use a lot of exercise, I guess is the word, but making it simple, trying to keep it short in the field of play. And then a lot of fun. We have our coaches that coach our younger groups are very creative and come up with a lot of different games that they can play. So then, and just the egg beater stuff, again, treading water, eventually showing them how to egg beater, and then progressing up slowly, hands above water, egg beater with movement, like sliding to your right, sliding to your left, and back, and forward. And the football drill would turn to your right, pivot to your right, 1/4 turn to your right, just simple stuff. Fargo drills. I don't know, those are old drills, but we still use them with the fingertips and tossing the ball, squeezing the banana, all those drills that he used. We kick the ball with your foot, keep it on your head, whatever keeps it fun. For the 12 and unders, we use them. And we come up with our own variations of them. You'll be able to come up with your own variations of these drills, and they keep it different and keep it fun. We try to change drills every 5 minutes, because our society is instant gratification. If you're not changing it up, they're going to get bored. So you got to change, especially at this young age. Change it up quick. Come up with a different drill. Do something different. Passing, again, good shoulder rotation. A lot of it's posture. So we all know that eventually this ball is going to be flat, and I don't want our girls or our kids to have lingering injuries with shoulders or whatever, So we try to make sure that they understand what good posture is. We get girls that as little girls, they're handed dolls instead of balls. Where boys are handed balls, they start throwing balls immediately. And I have girls that never thrown a ball before and come out for water polo. And we got to try to show them how to throw balls and the mechanics so they don't hurt themselves. And a lot of it's just good posture. Some of the passing, simple scoop passing. At 10 and unders, everything's a wet pass. Everything's a wet pass. Trying to keep dry passes at 12 and unders or catching and passing, good luck with that. And even at some of the 10 under boys, it's hard. So everything's just scoop, get it up, advance it. Even some of the pressure passing, stepping out and just scooping it over to the next person. Eventually getting up to the layout and getting separation and the breaststroke kick on your back and passing the ball to the next person. But again, come up with drills that are fun for them. We've done drills where we put them in a circle, we put music on, blast the music. When the music stops, whoever has the ball is I call it hot potato. Pass the ball. Pass it. Turn off the music. Who's got the ball? So they're trying to get rid of it as quickly as can before the music stops. So those are some of the stuff that we've done. You can do whatever you want, but again, we put the music that they listen to. They're not going to listen to what I listen to. So Justin Bieber's on, go, and they have a good time with it, and they pass the ball around, and sometimes it hits them in the head, and they laugh, and it's okay. So I'll keep going as long as there's any questions. And then shooting again, and then the tripod, the good posture, the good balance, and holding the ball and just walking with it, moving with it. A lot of at 10 and unders, I don't know if anybody's seen 10 and under soccer, but 10 and under soccer is the same as 10 and under water polo, where they all chase the ball. So wherever the ball, they're chasing after it. So trying to get structure and 10 and unders, good luck. So it's just for us, walking. A lot of drills is individual drills and not necessarily team drills, and at the end they'll scrimmage or they'll get into the shallow pool and go for it. We'll put it into small cages, and sometimes there's no goalies, sometimes there's a goalie, sometimes there's 10 goalies, whatever is fun for them. Okay? Yes, sir.
So just in terms of catering to the kids and they're developing their minds, so they're not ready to hear things like, okay, turn your hips and step out and go vertical from horizontal. Like, how deep do you get so where they can understand, like, your right leg's going to step out, and then I'm going to go from this to this. Like, how deep do you get?
In my opinion, at 10 unders, the deeper you get, the farther they're going to zone out on you. You're going to lose them. So if you try to keep it simple, that acronym KISS, I like to say silly at the end, but keep it simple, silly. That's what we do. We try to keep it as simple as possible and not get into details until you get into the 12s. Then we start adding the details and the 12 and unders. At the 10 and unders, throw the ball. If they can throw it, nice job,
But even at the 10 and unders, is there as far as keeping it simple, but is there one thing, especially because you talk about posture, is there one thing that you definitely want to make sure they understand and they have it when it comes about posture and handling the ball? Our
what we try to focus on is where your weight is distributed. and it's just distributed on your back leg. You get your weight distributed on your front leg. What is your offhand doing? And we come up with drills that they got to hold something above water. They got to hold something. Just mixing it up for them so they can stay, participating. Every 5 minutes we're changing drills up, and it can't be the same drills from yesterday, right? It got to be different, and. So a lot of, as far as the shooting, just making sure you have good posture and where your weight is distributed. And that's about as far as we go with the 10-unders on the shooting stuff. And then shoulder, especially the kids who have never thrown a ball before, understanding how to start with the correct shoulder in front and then rotating the shoulder and throwing it.
You were saying every 5 minutes change your drill movement. How long do you generally practice a 10 and under? Because in our minds, most coaches are like, 2-hour practice is standard, but you're not going to keep a 10 and under in the water for...
No, our 10 and unders come in at 4:15 and they're out at 5:30. So they're in for an hour and 15. That's our 10 and under workout. And that's 2 days a week. So for us, we only go 2 days a week. But again, our coach that does a fantastic job, and we always collaborate, and we talk about different stuff that we can do and come up with new ideas. So, and eventually they move up and they start getting better at what they're doing and having more fun, and they don't think about where the weight is distributed. Is that a question, sir? Or are you showing us a drill? Oh, he's talking. Okay. Are we good? All right. Okay, and then again at 10 and unders, everything's individual. So individual offense, Try to get them to know the numbers, where they're at, balancing pools, but it's not a big deal if you end up with 6 on one side chasing the ball. You try to get them to understand the concept of spacing and occupying and how to take away a ball, how to slide your hand down the ball instead of swimming over them, just different stuff like that. Trying to get them to understand, the different tones of the whistle of what is an ordinary foul, what is a kick out, what is a turnover, what is a penalty shot, because they're all different. So trying to get them to understand, the different tones of the whistles that the referees are going to use. So we do that at 10s. And then, again, individual defense, hand on shoulder. One of the drills we do on the deck is put your hand on the shoulder, cover your eyes, and then follow the person that's walking you, right? That teaches us that they don't need to stare at the defender to know what's going on. So they'll do that and understand that they can put their hand on the shoulder and find the ball. I know that I always tell them before the games or anytime they're going to be practice, just know where the ball's at. Find the ball. So we do that, and then understanding how to hit the elbow on the pass. And again, just keeping it simple. Because at 10 and unders, if you're trying to get a structured offense and structured defense and details, yeah. Okay? Any questions? Now we get into the 12s, and 12s a little bit more detailed because you have, the athletes are aware of the game, or for us, if you're coaching high school, which I coach high school too, sometimes we get freshmen who've never played a game. I would treat them like 10 and unders and go the same drills at 10 without so much fun and stuff because they're a little older, to their age, I guess. But I would treat it the same way. A-beater, elbows up, starting your lunges, and there's a variety of lunges. We call it a lunge called ninja, and we do that, and from horizontal lunges to vertical lunges to diagonal lunges to whatever kind of lunges that you need for your team, we put them all in there. And again, these are all bullet points, so then you can put in whatever drills that you need into those bullet points. Scrolling backwards, A-beatering with wrestling, because we don't. So I've seen people put weight balls and stuff on 12 and unders. We don't do that. We try to teach them contact at 12 and and understand that there's certain contact that's okay and that there's certain contact that's just not okay. I will never have a kid from our club playing dirty. That's, we talk about ethics and what's important and what you want to teach them. Our kid, they will get pulled immediately if there's someone playing dirty and I'm aware of it, But there's some wrestling involved in our sport that's necessary, so we'll teach them how to make contact and how to bear in and how to wrestle while you're pushing against each other at 12 and unders. And at 10 and unders, it happens on accident. Understanding what double threat means with the ball, and understanding what there's some shoulder pressure and stuff like that. So this is what we start doing at 12 and unders as far as egg beaters are concerned, or staying above water and treading water. Passing, we start adding the pressure passing, but with our girls, a lot of our pressure passing is done different than other teams do because we don't have the length. They're all about my size. So we have to do our work before we receive the ball, and as far as getting separation, getting away from the lane line, getting away from the wall, and giving your teammate somewhere to pass the ball, so when they get to the ball, they just lay out and move the ball to the next person. So we had a discussion on referees. Our game is not, we try to get the referee completely out of the game. In our area, some of our referees are, we call them the axis of evil, so. Yeah. So, and then hand transferring, how to use their stomach, how to use their core. And we do that on a lot of this, some of this stuff is on dry land, like hand transferring. We'll do it on the dry land before we go in the water and do it. We'll throw the ball against the wall. I've gone to watch, I still softball players, and I still volleyball players, and I watch the drills they're doing and what they're doing to improve their arm strength. So we started doing it into our drills. So we started throwing balls against the wall, and it's helped with our technique and keeping them understanding how to use your shoulder and then putting it in the water. And we'll do it where they throw it against the wall in the water, and so we'll do that. Cross-face passing, teardrop passing, a little over a defender. Sometimes it's done on purpose and on accident, so. Yes?
How much, at that age, your kids do a great job passing the ball and playing in vertical, and I think that's something that you always see with the commerce teams. So how much time are you spending at 12 passing?
At 12, we start spending a lot of time on our 12. So our workouts at 12, they start at 4:15 and at 6. And I would say a quarter of our workout is passing. So, and then from different types of passing, from, changing your release point to, a lot of it is how to, I call it the Jordan rule, because Jordan would float in the air forever, trying to teach our girls or our athletes to come up and hold that position, catch and pass it, and then come down. We call it the Jordan play, because he would just sit in the air. So we try to get them to understand that at a young age, so when they get to 14s, they do it without thinking about it. And they get into muscle memory stuff. Any questions? And then the shooting, we have for us, we have 6 different wet shots. The tee shot, the screw shots, all that stuff. We add other stuff to them. Hand transfer shots, catch and shoot shots, centers. We'll teach them how to lob, because at girls, lobbing, you can score a lot of goals off a lob. We'll teach them how to lob. Again, we try to teach them everything, and then we believe that there's a time and a place for everything. So some people say never backhands. We teach them how to backhands. We teach them how to swim the ball on top of swim with the ball with their hand on top of the ball. And I've had other coaches disagree with me and, teach their own. For us, some of the wet shots that we teach, we have to teach them with their hand on top. And we have a drill at 10 and unders where they breaststroking and they're kind of sculling with their hand on top of the ball and they're moving forward. To teach them how to, if they put pressure on the ball, it's not going to slide out. So we teach them that stuff. So some of the screw shots and the tee shots and that stuff gets easier. So at first, teaching them how to advance and not stop to shoot a wet shot, it's hard for us to teach if they're not already swimming with the ball on top of their hand and double threat. And I know there's coaches that like never put your hand on top of the ball. I don't know what to tell you. You know, and that's what we do. Yes, sir.
So, hand on top.
Never the claw. The hand on top, but not this.
I've seen a lot of like, no offense, Commerce girls.
Yeah.
That water stuff.
And they get yelled at. We try not, I mean, there's times where they're going to result to this because their hands are really, really small, but we try to get them to teach how to put their hand on the ball instead of shooting with their forearm. But, you know, they are kids. So.
What's one reason you do that? Is it because like maybe if you have the hand underneath and you're getting pressed and you pick the ball up, oh, it flies out of my hand?
No, for us, we do it to teach the wet shots easier, the progression of the wet shots. It's easier for it to teach it once they're able to swim, because once they understand how to do this, it's easier when they're already swimming it, instead of trying to go from a dry spot and going into actually trying to get them to do this. It's been really hard because then they'll stop. The left arm stays down, and then they'll do the screw shot with the left arm down here instead of continuing to advance. And some of the other stuff that we use as far as wet shots, it's continuing to advance forward instead of stopping and letting the defender catch you from behind. And a lot of it's swimming that ball in double threat. It works for us. It works for us, and we've been changing stuff up over the years, and for us it works. And then, even though, we'll move on. And then individual offense, we have our girls at 12 and unders sit, and cover their eyes and listen to the game, and they got to tell me what's going on in the games by the referee's whistles, by 12s. They should be able to close their eyes and tell me that's an ordinary, that's a kick out. Oh, I don't know, you know. They should, at 12, they should be able to do that. Close their eyes and tell you dictate what's going on in the game without actually looking at it. And and then I don't know if you've ever seen our teams play, we drive a ton. We are going to move, and that 5-on-5, that's our bread and butter. I mean, that's what we do. That's our strongest point. We teach it early, and we get them the philosophy that the defender in front of you cannot stop you. The only person that can stop you is yourself. And we dig it into them and tell them that there's different ways where you can score. And we constantly tell them that the only person that's going to stop you from scoring is you. And we keep all the time. We remind them all the time. So they get to that drive and they're going, man, my bread and butter is drive. I'm going to move. And anytime there's a whistle, it's a green light move. And I go over that, and for us, because of our size, and we post up from all kinds of directions, from all kinds of angles. And that 5-on-5, I can't wait for that to come to the United States. Can't wait. Because that's what we do. Okay? And then individual defense, how to prevent a turn, getting in the passing lanes, defending drives, defending the center. We definitely start teaching them that kind of structure and hip positioning, and we call it positional advantage, or taking away positional advantage by swimming. So at 12 and under, it's definitely start getting into that kind of stuff. And then the team concept of spacing, of water polo terminology, of understanding what downline means, what weak side means, what, all the water polo stuff that comes in, like releasing. So inside water that's huge for us. At 12 and under, we start teaching it and how to make the pass to inside water, who's got inside water on the weak post, how to start doing that, how to finish according to the wet shots they were taught earlier. When they have inside water, we do drills where they got defenders on each side finish, and they got to finish, so there's no whistle. And they got to be creative on inside turns, outside turns, and defensively how to prevent that stuff too. Okay, so we do that drill early. and being really creative with understanding hip positioning and offense. And one saying, we do a lot of stuff from basketball. If you reach, we're going to teach. So we do that a lot. If you're going to reach, we're going to turn you this way, or we're going to turn you on the opposite direction, or if you're not going to reach, then we can advance the ball. So we start teaching that at 12 and unders. And then the team defense. And over the years, we've had to adjust our stuff according to what U.S. Water Polo puts in. This last time U.S. Water Polo said, if everybody's inside 9 meters, you got to press. Make our adjustments accordingly. But at the end of the day, we're trying to win, but we're trying to get them to your guys' level. So yes, we're integrating what U.S. Water Polo does, but not all of it. Our priority is to get them to your level and be good players by the time they get that age. So we do try to focus in, but a lot of it will add on whatever U.S. Water Polo rules. If it's JOs, if we're getting ready for JOs, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks before JOs, and then let's do it. We don't focus our development according to what U.S. Water Polo does, because they'll change their mind on you. So we don't do that. We don't depend on what U.S. Water Polo does. Small balls, big balls.
Don't blame US Water Polo.
Well, FINA. Well, some of it's, small ball and pressing side. Some of that's within our own side, but we develop our kids for the end product, not for the current, what we're doing now. So if we win, fine. If we don't, we're okay with that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Let me ask, can you expand on that? So you're talking about, you already went through 10s and then you went through 12, you're going through 12 right now.
Yeah.
Like, how much, you're a program that wins a lot, but you're not necessarily going to win every game, right?
Right.
That's possible, there's a lot of other good programs too. So like, how much do you emphasize winning and losing, and how do you deal with loss with the 12s and the 10s?
I think that in any sport, when you put in a lot of time, and we are very goal-oriented, whether it's an individual goal or a team goal, and we don't try to force feed what they want. And a lot of times when you put in a lot of time and energy and you lose, it's tough. It's tough especially when you know the game and the situation happens that it goes against you, and you just try to teach them how to grow. It's growing things. Water polo is all about becoming a young adult. And how are you going to do this in your life? How is this going to affect you later on in your life? And try to keep everything in perspective. At the end of the day, it's just a game, and the world's not going to end. So we remind them all the time. So we're here. We remind them what their goals were, because we have them write it down. What is your goal? What is your long-term goal? What is your short-term goal? What do you want to be doing 10 years from now? And we do that at a young age. We do grade checks, and I know there's other clubs that don't do that. We do grade checks every three times a year, and we hold them. If they're not above a 3.0, they don't travel. They stay. We want them in the club, so we don't not take them to games, because we want them to stay on the team, right? We don't want them on the street. Because we know that we're, at least in the area we're at, or some of our surrounding stuff, it's tempting. So we try to keep them in our program. So we do grade checks. We do stuff like that to hold them accountable and understand, like, what is the big picture? What are we doing? What are we doing here? And sometimes our parents get carried away, and we gotta calm them down. It's more the parents than the kids. My kid at 12 and under or 10 and under was an All-American. Cool. But, I coach at Fullerton College. I was honorable mention all league. All right. So at 10 and under, we remind them, like, what are we doing here? What is this program about? This program is just a stepping stone to get to you guys and then get that paper. That's what it's all about. That's all we're trying to do. So we always keep that in perspective, win or lose. And then our goalies, at 10 and unders, we don't put a lot of it. It's just, we rotate our kids in there. I want to be a goalie today, go for it. At 12 and unders, we start specializing a little bit. We don't specialize a lot, but if there is going to be a position where we do it, it'd be the goalie. And at 12 and unders, we start doing some of this stuff. And And again, these are all bullet points, and you can use drills within this stuff to help them develop that. Okay, now 1400s. And for us, our 1400s are the backbone of our program. We'll have 1400s jump up to 1800s and play. And our 1400s are very, very important to us because that's what keeps our program moving. And what we do is we'll teach a system from top to bottom. It's the same system, so I can grab Joe Schmo and put Joe Schmo at 1800s, and Joe Schmo knows exactly what we're doing. It's the same system. You just have different athletes and the pace is faster and the area they cover is bigger and stuff like that. But some of the stuff that we do is like swimming with their head down with the ball because we're not the fastest kids. So if we have open water, we'll teach them how to swim with their head down to get separation, or if they can do it with their head down, they can definitely do it with their head up. So, and just controlling the ball while they're swimming. With the head down, it's really been effective for us. They're head down looking up though. They're not looking at the black lines at the bottom of the pool. So we'll teach them how to do that stuff to, again, get more separation or to control the ball better or just, creating space on transition. That's where the bearing in comes in or the anticipating the shot clock or that kind of stuff. And occupying on transition. A lot of times at 1400s, even at 1800s, people don't understand the concept of I got to occupy my defender so my teammate can shoot and play as a team and not think of themselves all the time. And sometimes when they're occupying defenders, they'll find out that they're going to be wide open in front of the cage. And they realize, like, whoa, look at that. So, and then the understanding that in water polo, you have your water polo stuff, but the 3 types of swimming from understanding when to use your quickness, understanding when to use your speed, understanding when to use your endurance. At 1400s, we start teaching them that and understanding that concept of like, okay, this time I need to be quick in hold position, I need to be faster or whatever, and understanding when to rest because like as Ms. Simmons said earlier, right? There's gonna be times in games where you're like 6 minutes and nobody scored a goal. And you gotta know when to change gears and when to change speeds. And at 1400s, we teach them how to do that. Some people think that we take off our caps. That's not true. We don't do that on purpose. But we teach them how to change gears and save some energy at 1400s. And then the passing, getting up, long passes. At 1200s, we try not to focus on long passes until their technique is correct and they're not going to hurt themselves. And then understanding like how to feed a counterattack, because it doesn't have to come from the goalie every time. It can come in from your field player and advancing the ball. At 1200s, when you have a really good player, they can do that too. And then we teach them when to use a no-look pass, when it's appropriate and when it's not. Because sometimes they think that every pass is a no-look pass. Yeah, I'm Magic today, or what? I was Magic. They're LeBron or Kobe or whatever. Okay? And then the shooting, the sliding, the direct shot outside 5, the movement with the shot, the horizontal vertical skipping. We do at 12, 14 as we start doing that side, even the up and slide too. So, and up and slide in different. I know that in the United States, they will teach them how to slide with their hand in the water. We'll do it with their hand above water so we can grab more water. It works better for us. So, and we're sliding diagonal, sliding back. So they teach them how to slide. And we'll do a drill where they're in a box drill and they're sliding in different directions for 20 seconds and they're using their imagination. And then we go to another drill. And then our individual offense 6-on-5. Damn. Okay.
Just so you all know, these 1,800 girls at JO's percentage was 80%. At JO's on 6-on-5.
Yeah.
Gabriel right after we played him, and congratulated him on how well the girls were playing in general, on the whole as a team. I said, hey, tell me what you're doing in 6-on-5, and he said, I can't share that with you. I've waited now 6 months. He said that, he's like, I can't share that with the girl. We do this 4-square drill and I can't share it. And now he's promised to share this drill with all of us.
Well, our biggest thing is I will make it. I know I don't want to spend too much time on it, but so you got your positions here, right? And everything for us is a progression. How do you build into what you want what your final product is, and what you want to do and how you want to attack, and we call it figure 8, not 4-square. But so we start a simple drill, a simple shooting drill that we start doing is really, again, simplifying stuff, and we'll erase players. So we'll take these two out, and what we do is we will, and for us too, especially at 1400s, we start a lot of repetition so they can get muscle memory and be really good at it and real efficient with it. So we'll do this pass here, and then take her spot, and then they'll rotate like this. Over and over, and it gets that person to understand how to use their left hand, how to pivot and use your right hand to redirect the pass into the cage, into the near side. And then we'll eventually progress to this here, to making the pass. Because I know that I learned it from the Greeks. They feed the posts really, really well. And they get their post and players involved really, really well. And what we started doing is we will force a pass into the post sometimes, especially early in the season as we're getting involved, to build the confidence, understand that even if they're even if they're choking me, my arm's free, I'm open. So we'll force that pass in there. And eventually we start making the pass here to redirect it, so the rotation will go, and then passing the ball here for the shot. And then the rotation to go shot here. So that way they start rotating this way. And then we keep doing it over and over and over again. And then when we finally get into a situation where we're doing, I'm trying to make it a mess for you. So and then we'll get all positions involved, and then these two will make a pass and have this girl understand how to pivot correctly with good balance to finish when the pass is coming from here or here. And then they'll have this group pass the ball this way, back and forth, and set up this person. And we'll do that. Again, these are drills building up for the end product, but we're changing it every 5 minutes. So they're able to go from one drill to the next, and then as further along, they get better at it. And then they're pivoting on the post. So what we were doing on our 6-on-5s at JOs is a lot. And we played 680 who won JOs. We played them twice, lost them by a goal. Twice. And our 6-on-5 against them was 85% in both games. And we were just feeding the post, and then when they would back up, we had good shooters up on top. And if they compensated for the shot player, they'd focus in the middle here, then we would hit them from the outside. From the sides. But a lot of our getting these girls involved was sucking the whole defense in, and then now our outside shots are just, we were able to walk in, sometimes send a cage 3 meters and bang, because they were so far sucked back. Because at the beginning, even in our preparation to JOs, we would feed the post so much. So you could hear the coaches yell, they're gonna go to the post, and we would go to the post and still score. And, I mean, we play Rose Bowl all the time. He knows we're going to go to the post, and we'll keep going. Huh? All the time. We're going to go to the post, and we got lucky in our tournament against them. But, so that's what we do. And understanding how to slide, and then you start adding your own stuff to it. So, but understanding how these kids can shoot the ball from different angles and receiving the ball from, this is a permanent marker. Oh man. We should turn it around now. Gotta use the other side, I guess. There we go.
Gabriel, here's
Oh. All right. Excuse me? Yeah, I don't know. It was a permanent marker. Whatever you want. I'm here to please you. So whatever you guys want, I will do to the best of my ability. Although you guys are much better at it than I am. So, and then individual defense, right? Defending picks, shot blocking, and 5-on-6. And what your priorities are. You can have your own philosophy on how you want to defend this stuff, but that's the stuff that we definitely start putting into play at 14s.
What kind of stuff do you guys work on for shot blocking?
At the beginning of the year, when they were coming back, 14ers, we have them year round. We have breaks at the end of JOs, and then we have our break that's about to come up for Christmas, or for the holidays, for the holidays. But for the most part, our 14ers are with us all the time. And we do it in the dry land, so I can physically correct them without having to get in the water. So our dry land stuff is sometimes shooting them so I can get them to understand like where your arm's supposed to be, don't do this, understand like how to slide and cover the low side first and then coming up and then making sure that your arm is concave. So when you knock it down and it's coming down in front of you and you're not deflecting it in the cage. Because you'll have players doing this stuff and thinking that they're doing a good job and they're just deflecting it into the cage. So at 1400s, we teach them, good posture and 5-on-6 and what your responsibilities are. And, sometimes we'll have fun with it. And when they don't take care of the responsibilities, they got to come out and do the nay-nay, or they got to get out to the water and do something that's embarrassing to them, and we all videotape it. So we have it. So we do stuff like that to make it fun, and so we hold them accountable. So a lot of it's dry land for us. It's just so the advantage that other sports have over us, whether it's the dry land sports, is you can immediately walk up and correct them. And water polo, you have to get in the water. So a lot of that stuff we'll do on the dry land first, and then get into the water and do it in the water. And then introducing team offense and working zones, isolating, occupying on a half court, getting the ball to a side your center's at, and then counterattacking odd man counterattacks. We at 1400s we definitely start integrating this kind of stuff on top of what they should already know from the 12s and 10s and stuff like that. And again, these are all you could adjust them to what type of athletes and what your philosophy is as a team. And then team defense. Again, this is our terminology. Halber is a basketball terminology. Pressing the lanes and then switching defenses. Sometimes you're going from a front to a drop and understanding how to transfer from one defense to the next at 1400s and that kind of stuff. And then our goalies, for girls, it's hard for them to communicate and tell the other girl what to do. Some girls are good at it, some girls are not so good at it. Cutting off angles, lobbing, blocking, penalty shots. And again, for us, we change our philosophy according to the size of our goalie as far as blocking penalty shots. So whatever your philosophy is on a one-on-one and one-on-one with the goalie and that kind of stuff. But that's what we start doing. Yeah, I could tell you a philosophy, but I'll be here all day and John's going to be pissed at me. So. And then some of our 16s, it's just, we do some stuff, but a lot of it's just, we don't swim with weight belts. But we have access to a weight room, but only on the weekends. So our girls they go into college year spot and they hit the weight room. They're holy moly. So they're not used to it, but I would definitely start hitting weight room at this time if you have access to it. And we set picks on transition. And then an egg beater with pressure or weight bouts. And then change your angles in the set. How to change your angles to pass the ball in a set. Change your passes in this. And a lot of it's just release point, egg beatering up and getting around defenders or teardropping it over defenders and stuff like that. So our field players are extensions of our goalie, understanding where the pass needs to be. A lot of our stuff, we work in confined space. So we'll set a pick and work in a small space, and they got to know how to get the ball in that angle. And sometimes it's making the extra pass, getting into that spot. But we rely, as Brad says, on getting kickouts and getting position and getting a kick out and scoring on 6-on-5.
Where are you setting your picks in transition?
Usually, sometimes in the middle. You have different ways of doing it. We'll do it on the one-on-one side and try not to be so obvious, away from the referee. So if the front court referee is on the right side, we'll do it on the far side where the referee can't see it. So where the referee's not at, we will do it. And they understand where the referees are looking. We'll teach them, like, where is the referee looking here? This is where the referee's looking. This is his blind spot. That's what we're going to take advantage of. So we take advantage of the way the referees call the game. And I don't know if it's taking advantage of it or just understanding the circumstances, I guess. It's not unethical. We are playing by the rules that are given to us. Yeah, so we usually do it on the blind spot of the referees, where the referee doesn't see it. And we've taught them how to, what Corley was talking about, 5-on-5. Part of our workout is 3-on-3, so they don't hide, so they forces them to post up, so forces them to drive, so forces them to defend set, and forces them to do everything that we talked about in the subject before. We'll do it. And we'll do 4-on-4, so the 5-on-5s, they've been doing that since they were little girls. That's like the back of their hand to them. Some of the stuff that we need to adjust to is like the man down. Because what we do for that is to introduce the quick to them. So the fast, anywhere they can get to the wall, they're right back in. So wherever the close wall lane, they touch it, they're right back in. To get them to understand what a quick is and get them to move the ball. And that goes back to understanding your different release points on your shots. And we'll do that as well. So. Again, this stuff is just creating bigger space and how to do that stuff and team zones, and you have all kinds of zones for your own teams, and then what the goalies are there for. But if are there any questions? Cool. Yes, sir.
Well, I do have one question, just because you coach the age group, but you also coach at Fullerton College, and how often do you see yourself using some of the stuff you do with your age group at the college level?
I know for me, I coach at a JC, and like I said before, I think that if we could get more of this stuff and get some of those coaches coming to this stuff and watching this, it would really help our sport. I think that when I come to these coaches things, I see the same people here. And there's a reason why they're successful. And I go to these high schools and they come to me and I feel like I'm starting all over. And I have to teach what I think is very basic and fundamental. They have no concept of it. And a lot of it's because I think we got to get our coaches, and we're trying. I know Alex and I have done a lot of camps where you invite coaches and we get, like, last time we did it, I think we had 15 coaches total. And we got to figure out a way to get more of the coaches involved. So a lot of times when they're coming to me at Fullerton, and greatest story in the world. I had a young lady come to me from a school that I'm going to describe their pool, and if you describing the pool and you live in Orange County, you're going to know which pool it is. It's a 4-lane pool, shallow deep. And she comes into me playing in those circumstances and gave me her playbook. Coach, this is my playbook. Thanks. So, and I looked over it, and it's just, they're playing to what their circumstances are in their home pool. So I have to teach her everything. And she was a great kid, and she ended up being a pretty good player and moving on. But I just, we got to get those coaches that they're putting in a lot of work and they're sitting on their decks, but they got to get to you guys and watch your guys' workouts and come to this stuff. And I don't know if they would learn anything from that, but definitely listening to you guys talk and intermingling and asking you guys questions, they're going to be much better coaches and go back to their high schools or their small their clubs and helping their kids. Because I get kids that, God bless them, but they're very athletic, but they don't understand, good positioning and stuff. So I have to basically start from like 12s and go up.
So how much are you I know you coach a lot of the age groups, right? You coach all of the age groups?
I do not. And sometimes it may look like that because I'm running from pool to pool, but I do not.
So as far as practice planning goes, are you writing all these plans for your coaches? Are your coaches writing them? Like, how does that work in your...
I give them a template, and I tell them this is our system. And I give them the freedom within that template to add what they want to add. But I'm always sitting in the back watching. I'm not, in the office on a computer. I'm watching them, and the people that are on my coaching staff are very, very good coaches. That's why they're there, and I trust them. So I just watch and I learn stuff from them. But there is like a framework of what we want and what our philosophy is. And sometimes we get into this argument of like, yeah, but it's 12 and unders and we got to win this. And I'm going, what is our philosophy? And I have to remind them. And I have to go back to that sometimes because they're competitive and they want to win and they have a good team and they want to win, but this is our ultimate goal. So and I've compromised with them and I've told them, fine, you got 3 weeks before JO to do whatever you want to do. And then
How much time do you spend coaching your coaches or correcting them or?
Not a lot. We have coaches meetings, and we'll have them maybe once every 2 months, and we get back and we get together and we talk about stuff and we talk about, do we need to change some stuff because Seth's kicking our butt here, or do we need to do this? Well, how can we get better? Right now, we got a competition in our zone that's very, very good, and we're trying to figure out how to stay ahead of the Joneses, and we get together and come up with different ideas to improve our team. So yeah, we do have huddles and meetings, and we talk about how can we get better. And we've come up with some pretty good stuff. And I talk to other coaches too, and I come back, and Adam and I talk all the time. He does this, and well, that's great. And I go back and I talk to my coach and I say, what do you guys think of this? And sometimes it's good for our program, and sometimes it's not. Kathy's able to bring your girls in early in the morning and swim them. We cannot do that. Our priorities, getting them rest and doing good in school. I don't want them going to school tired. So again, it goes back to what is your ultimate goal and what is your priority. And our priorities, we have our priorities and we stick to them. We may change them every now and then, but that's our core values, and then we stick to them.